Oh, there you are. So if the shot sense is something that you own and you have some thoughts about it, please stay tuned because I'm curious if we share these same exact thoughts in ways that Mathews can improve the product. So let's talk about it. So for the guys that are over there at Mathews Inc., please listen to me. And if you don't even get wind of this, please somebody send it to them because this beautiful app and device called ShotSense should be more than just a shot counter. But right now, that's all it feels like it is doing for me and my brother. And I'm sure there's other people out there that feel the same, but it has so much potential for growth. So instead of focusing on the negative, let's try to focus on the positive. But before we get there, I need to give a general outline for those that don't know what the ShotSense actually does. So when you open up the app, this is what you're going to be greeted with. You're going to see the whole home screen, kind of gives you a total shots right under it where it says welcome back. And then you have your average score. That actual score is going to be calibrated from a few different things. Goodness gracious, you have your steadiness, you have your level and your torque, as well as your average time. They give you a general idea of how those things are going to be weighted, as you guys can see. And obviously, it's always nice to try to get the highest score. I've heard some high-level archers that are like, dude, I get terrible scores on there, at least what I heard through the grapevine. And they were like, it's crap and it doesn't really work. At least for me, I like it because I'm consistently getting decent scores and it makes me feel pretty good. But also another thing that it does is shows you your movement pre and post shot. So that is going to be this area. Now, kind of work with me here. This is one of the bugs that I need Mathews. Guys, please fix this. So when you're scrolling, sometimes it'll get caught. So yeah, right there. So I tried to go to the beginning of my shot process. My finger is still on it. I'm trying to slide over and it just glitches. It doesn't move. It won't show me what I'm doing. And then it just jumps just like that. But with all that being said, life goes on. But it shows, if I can get it to start showing what my movement actually looks like in regards to my float. It's called the float graph, but basically it's showing what my pin or what my bow is doing as I am trying to get on target. So you see it's moving there. It's also showing the level, and it's kind of useless. It glitches like this, like always. The idea behind it is really cool, and it actually was doing this really smooth when I first got it, but more so recently it's kind of gone to crap. Like I can't use it at all. But then it also shows what your bow does post shot. But beyond the point, you get the idea. Let's keep it pushing. So that's going to be what happens inside the shot when you're analyzing each single shot. I don't do that a lot, but it is something that, especially like when I first started using the bow, tried to figure out where I wanted the weights, what I wanted to feel like. I didn't want my pin float to be really big, and I'm still training my eyes as an archer to kind of see what my pin is doing and trust that what it did is exactly what I actually felt and saw. So having this and being able to compare the two, really beneficial for me. The other thing that you can do is create community. So at the bottom, you see the bubbles. This is with my brother. I'm not going to show his scores, but you can make community groups. So that's actually like, so when I record sessions, I haven't recorded one in a long time because it's actually really annoying to record sessions. So if that can be an automatic thing that's done after you're done, just groups everything that was in that day that you've logged under training, because you can do training and hunting with this device. I'm not sure exactly what changes when you go back between the two, but if I could just say bookend and choose dates rather than individually selecting, that would be really awesome, to be able to have groups and be able to send them off to my brother, because it gives you an average shots per day, breaks down all of your basic stuff that's been going on, and wow, that number's really dropped. That's interesting. Yeah, that number used to be a lot higher. Just been busy. But beyond the point, we're going to get on to so with the groups, this is where we start getting into the other ideas of where this thing can really flourish and boom, like, because a lot of people, at least for me, I'm not around guys that really like to compete in archery a lot. Sometimes it's kind of like the fun, everyday go shooter, right? But then you have the guys kind of like a James with Bow Disciples. Guy clearly loves to compete, clearly wants to be like the top guy, but he's a lot of the videos I see, a lot of the times, the guys are like, oh, whatever, ha, ha, ha. I'm just here to shoot and have fun. And he's like, no, I want to compete. I want to win. So for me personally, I'm kind of share that same type of idea and same type of heart. So when it comes down to it, I want to be able to compete with other people. And so the bigger we can make that type of competition and community is where you actually win. So how do you do that? How do you win that? Obviously with this app, you have groups that you can be creating, but right now you're just competing with your average scores. You're not actually competing with where you're hitting the target, what your actual scores are. You would have to send that in a whole nother text while sending pictures. Trust me, me and my brother did it. It ended up being a handful, really, really annoying. But brings me to the main idea that I have in regards to improvement number 1. Building the community and actually trumping this Mathews sandbox, kind of like the Apple community, and building this thing up to actually benefit us as Mathews shooters. And what do I mean by that? So right here, you guys have this app. It's not your app in regards to Mathews, but it's Archery. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right, but it's a really awesome app in regards to tracking your scores and being able to do that stuff while you're on the go. And you can track your impacts. What I'm going to show you is just the one part that I like and think that would be dope if we can incorporate it inside of a Mathews. Now, I'm not saying still all of what's going on here, but with the 3-spot Vegas, we're going to use that as an example. We're going to start new session, and then you get to pick and you get to name it. I'm just going to name it 1 right now, and then you get to pick how many arrows or whatever. This is basically what I'm saying would happen inside of your community groups, or whenever you say, hey bro, at some point today we're competing, find a time to shoot, and we log our times. But after we've named the session and we go down, then I can hit start. Right when I hit start, now I have the whole frame. Then, however I shoot my rounds, I get to point and shoot. That would be my first. I get to point and shoot. Let's say I shot that, and then let's say I messed up and shanked one. Those would be my rounds for round 1. That obviously being inside the app with your shot sense and being able to track your arrows like this, because it now creates my notes, which I like to do on pen and pad. But if I can do it all in the app, keeping it super simple, and I get to see the face as I'm getting done with it. Like, dude, no, this matches. This is exactly what I want it to look like. Then I get to look at whoever I'm competing with and looking at that. Dude, I'm telling you, you guys have like endless possibilities with this app, but yet it's being left like untapped. But then again, round 2, I go right back into it, changes the color, and then I get to shoot, boom, and then I get to shoot. And now this one, I'm drilling right in the middle because I focused up and I locked in. All of these things are like crazy potentials for the shot sense. Now I'm going to close that right now. We're not going to use that, and we're going to get out of it because at the end of the day, I think of all you're doing, especially for guys that aren't shooting archery, I would get that app, use it, like Trumpet, really awesome app. But when it comes down to shot sense, there's no reason why, to me, from the outside, I don't know if there's patents on whatever they got going on, but there's no reason why we couldn't incorporate that right into the actual shot sense app. We already have enough calculations of how we're shooting, but creating it into a little bit more of a competition mindset, to me, I think would be pretty awesome. Maybe it's not in the archer community. Maybe people don't really want that. But for me, please, for me as an archer that actually enjoys competing, that wants to be able to compete digitally in a way that would be pretty accurate rather than just sending pictures all the time. Even if you did, at the end of it, I get to send my photo of my actual target face to prove that it matches pretty similar to the digital one. Like, I don't care how that is incorporated, but if I get to compete digitally, I'm sorry, dude, like, you will grab so many more people, in my opinion. Because it's fun. It's you can do it at home. You can do it wherever. You can do it. One guy does it at this time and the other guy does it at this time. Especially like if I heard of some tournaments getting rained out because of storms coming in, then they had to do it digitally. Like, so many people could use like this type of app if you created a framework and then you can incorporate other apps into it. Maybe you don't do that. Maybe that's too much of a stretch and not worth the squeeze. In regards to like putting somebody on the job, and because obviously the work still has to be done, all the programming has to be done. But considering that there's already apps out there doing it, I can't imagine that it would be impossible. Definitely not for my Mathews guys. I mean, like, come on, step it up, make it happen. But that's on the shot sense. Again, I've loved it for the most part, at least with the first like 3 months. Now I feel like it's just a nice shot counter, and I don't want it to be that. I want it to be more than that. And I think y'all's intent was to make it better than that. Even in one of the latest updates, y'all said, we haven't forgotten about you. So please prove that. Like, please prove that you haven't forgotten about the shot sense and that you guys actually want to maximize the device that costs a crap ton, if I'm honest, and maybe a little bit overpriced. But if it's going to be priced at, then let's actually provide a premium comment. I say let's, us, like if I'm the one engineering it. Let me take a step back. Yo, y'all please provide a actual premium product where the app actually works and where it stays in sync with the device. I know my brother's is glitching for whatever reason where it like turns on and off. I want Mathews to be the cream of the crop and the top. Like, y'all already doing that. Let's keep on making sure we don't have anything get shoved under the rug. So that's William's thoughts. Whatever they're worth, that's my thoughts. I don't know why I just talked in the third person. Talking to a camera starting making you, I might be going crazy. Anyways, but that's that. Be easy. Be better. Thank you, Mathews. But there's some room for improvement, at least in this app right here. So thanks for what y'all do. Let's keep on moving the needle forward. Peace.